there's easier ways to get them done. So I'm going to show you what those easier things are. And then finally, at the end, I'm just going to open it up to Q&A. So if you have a burning question, you can go ahead and throw it in chat, but I might not get to it to the very end. And if I do happen to see it and it's relevant and I have time to answer it in the middle, I might just do that. So let's go ahead and jump in. Give me a 1 real fast in the chat if you guys are ready to go. Keep this train moving forward. Thank you guys for joining on a Thursday here before Christmas. All right. Cool. So who am I and why am I qualified to teach this information? So I've been an entrepreneur for over 15 years. For the past 10 years, I've helped other people market for leads, patients, clients. I've got a top-rated podcast called Online Marketing Simplified. I've spoken across national stages with other world-class entrepreneurs, and I'm the founder of Genie Rocket. My passion really is my family. You can see my wife and kiddos here. We like to do a lot of traveling and fun. And all the things that I'm going to be teaching you have really been from all the past journey of entrepreneurship and working with lots of other businesses just like yours and showing you what works and what doesn't work and how I can help you get to whatever that goal or mission is that you have for your business. Okay, so number 1, we're going to be talking about the 6 steps to 10x your business. So number 1, this might sound simple because it is, but most of us have failed in doing this, which is clarifying your message. If you have a confusing message and people aren't really sure who you help, what you do, is it right for them, then that confusion is going to create disruption and friction to them hiring you for your service, right? So if people are coming to you and they're trying to figure out what you do and who you do it for, and it's not very clear, a lot of times you're asking them to waste their own brain calories to burn to figure out, is this right for me and can you solve my problem? So, and you might take a screenshot of this or write this down, but these are the exact steps that we take people through. It's called the hero's journey, which you might have heard of before. This is very, very popular. It's been around for ages. It shows up in every movie or film you watch, most of the books you read. And if you have a really good brand and really good marketing, it also follows this path. And so I'm going to audibly walk you through how this works. And then I'm going to give you an exercise at the end of this of how you can actually apply this. But if you can think about this from your business perspective of the character, who is the character in the story of your business? And I'll give you a hint. It's not you. It's not about you. It's about who you are serving. When you can get really crystal clear on that character, everything becomes a lot easier. So we're going to talk about the character in the story. The character has a problem, and usually the problem has an internal, an external, and a philosophical component to that problem. And that problem might be, the internal problem are what are the things that they're telling themselves? What are they telling themselves that they can't do? They can't do because this. They're not good enough. They can't ever do this. Those are the internal problems. External problems are things that they can't control. For example, it could be, I can't afford this service because I literally don't have the money in the bank to pay for it. Or it could be, I can't come out to your event or come do this thing you're asking me to do because I have a full-time job and I can't get off. What are the external things that are going to prevent them from getting to their goal? And then the philosophical problems is their belief system. What do they believe that's holding them back from what they really want? And if we go backwards one step, I forgot to mention this on character. When you define that character, again, this is their demographics and their psychographics. This is a male, they're 34, they live in the suburbs, they commute to work every day. And then the second part is, what do they really want? What are their desires they're hoping to achieve? So that's what you want to map out. And then the problem is what's keeping them from getting those things that they want. Now I want to pause for a second because as business owners, we like to jump in and immediately start to put in our solution. To be like, well, the problem is they don't have my product, or the problem is they don't have this service, and that service is what I provide to them. That's going to solve all the problems. Don't focus on the solution yet. You want to focus really on the problem at hand. really dig deep on the problem. Okay, the next step is the guide. Now, here's where you come in. Once you've established the character and the character has a problem, you then get to meet the guide in the story. And the guide is going to be the bridge between heaven and hell. If you paint a clear picture of the hell that your dream character is in and the heaven that you're trying to get them to, you as the guide are simply giving them a safe place to land, and you're creating the bridge from hell to heaven. And you might say like, hey, well, my product or my service isn't really that drastic. Like it's not a heaven hell thing. It's more of a small fixed thing. Like if I'm a chiropractor, like, yeah, maybe they're in a lot of pain, but that's not necessarily hell. But think about it for them. Maybe it is hell. Maybe waking up every day with that crazy back pain, or maybe not looking the way they want to look in the mirror, or maybe having a bunch of junk that they've got to look at every day. That's some version or some sort of hell that they're in. And you want to show them what the opposite side of that can look like. So when you paint your picture as the guide, then the steps under guide are showing empathy and then showing authority. How do you show empathy to your character before you show authority? Instead of showing up and say, hey, I'm an expert and I'm going to fix all your problems, and here's why I'm qualified to fix all your problems, you're going to say, hey, I understand that you're going through X, Y, and Z. I totally get it. You are not alone. Everyone's experiencing this or has at some point. That's actually really normal. It just means you're a human. And I've solved this for a lot of people. As a matter of fact, here's the people that have qualified me to solve this. Here's why you can trust me. That's the kind of person you want to work with, right? That's the guide. So you've defined the character in the story, the problem that person is facing, the guide, which is you, and how you're helping them paint a picture from heaven to hell, or from hell to heaven. Don't do heaven to hell. And then you want to give them a plan. Usually this is a 3-step plan to getting them one step closer to heaven. So that could be something like step 1, book a discovery call. Let's figure out where you're at. Step 2 could be review this customized proposal and see which makes the best sense for you. And step 3 is step into your desired outcome. Like it's more of the experience of what they're going to get after they start working with you. Okay. So make it a really clear 3-step plan. Now, quick pause again. You might be wondering like, well, Brad, how in the world do I use this? Where does this fit? Once you map this out, it touches every part of marketing. I'm going to show you specifically how you're going to use this on things like your website and social, but this is going to touch everything that you do. The more specific you can get on your avatar and you understand these areas, then you're going to be a lot more qualified to speak to those people and get them the result, which is going to increase your business, which is why you're here. Okay, so after plan, we have avoid failure. What is the absolute worst case scenario that could happen if that person doesn't fix the problem? Now, notice I said fix the problem, not what's the worst thing that can happen if they don't hire you. Because again, this is not about you. This is about your dream customer and their problem, what they're facing, right? So we don't want to get trapped in our own brain and say, well, if they don't hire me, they're going to ... That's not what we're doing here. We're saying if they don't fix the problem at hand, this is what could happen. What's the worst case scenario? Could they die? Could they go broke? Could they lose a relationship? Could they be stuck in isolation or stress or fear or not have confidence? Like, what is the worst thing that can happen if they don't fix the problem? And then the next one is, what is their desired outcome? What are they really, really hoping for? If they got everything that they wanted from the problem, if they fixed all those problems, what does the outcome look like? They feel better, they feel stronger, they're more confident, they're happier, they're joyful. What is it that's their outcome? And then finally is the transformation. This is where you write a list of words that's before and after. They moved from X to Y. They moved from, let's say, fearful to hopeful, from sad to happy, from fat to fit. Like, what is the true transformation you're bringing people on? And what that does is it helps you really understand the character, which is your dream customer, and what they're going through and how you're going to help them. So this one does take a little bit of work, and I'm going to give you some steps here again at the very end of how you can actually work to accomplish this. But if you go through this correctly, it's going to paint a really good and clear picture of who you are serving and what the problem is. Brian, thanks for the comment. Brian said, epiphany moment for me. I cannot develop characters or problems, but why should I? The person who calls in provides me with all of that. Now I need to tie this into the rest of the journey, which is normally in the call as well. Yeah, so I would say for you, Brian, sorry, I'm trying to read and understand this. Yeah, if you understand this, a lot of times people will tell you exactly what the problem is. And then sometimes you can help people understand to say, if they call in and they're like, hey, I have got all of this stuff in my garage that I just need to get moved and I just need it done quickly. It's because what the person's struggling with, that gives you the chance to show that empathy and say like, hey, we understand. That's actually pretty normal. We get a lot of calls all the time about people that have that, right? That have all this junk and have all this stuff. And that is super common. And you're in good hands. We know how to take care of you. And great question, Mary. You can have multiple avatars for different parts of your business. So don't think that you just have to have one. And sometimes if you have several product lines or several service lines, you might have different avatars for each of those. So if you're running a campaign, so if Mary's running a campaign for a certain makeup line, maybe that very specific product and offer is for a very specific person. So let's say that she's got like eyeliner, and this new eyeliner is for millennial moms. And so it's okay to understand what she's currently dealing with. Maybe that's like real crappy eyeliner that fades or that washes off too easily. You don't sell makeup to guys. So being very specific on these for each of your products is going to help you be able to market those and sell those for the different groups. So it is okay to break this down into different products and services. That is a great question. Okay, number 2 is what's called a magnetic landing page. Now, you all have websites. You're all in business. We all know what a website is, but some of us fail to have a really good landing page that can help convert leads into sales. And it's funny, if I look back over the years, I've personally had websites built that took months, that took me like several team members and months to pull off, and they looked beautiful. Like they literally won gold awards at regional advertising award competitions. They looked amazing. And our clients' websites looked amazing. And we would spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on those. And I know that sounds like a lot, but this is a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And that's just what you did. Everyone had beautiful websites. But if I look back and I compare those beautiful award-winning websites to ones that we put up in a day or less that weren't near as beautiful, but they had the right elements and the right message to the right person, it is not even comparison how many more results that we got on the faster websites that didn't cost $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000, just because we had the message right and we had that hero's journey right. Like I cannot tell you the difference. It's almost laughable. So a magnetic landing page has these sections on it. And this again, guys, I'm giving you gold here. I don't say that pridefully, but this is from a lot of science and research, and not just me, but other people. And this is what works. So if you want the formula for what works, this is it. So a magnetic landing page has these elements in it. It's got the header or the hero. So you can, see kind of in these examples. This is like the hook. You need to make sure you're being very clear on what your message is and what you want people to do. So the header should be real simple, real clear. A good headline or good header does not have to answer all the questions. All it does is it gets someone to read the next part. So a lot of people make the mistake of trying to put all the information in the very top part because they're worried that if they don't get it all right up front, they're not going to want any, they're just going to bounce. But if you do it the right way, it's going to have all the right information. So they want to read more and keep them reading. That's the goal. So the header hero, next up is the stakes, which is what happens if you don't solve that problem. It's the same thing in the hero's journey. Like the stakes. Hey, if you don't get your, heater fixed, then your family is going to be super pissed at you. It's going to be cold in the house. No one's going to be happy. It's going to take forever to get the right serviceman out because you waited too long. Like, what is at stake if you don't fix the problem? And remember this, all businesses, if you take it down to its core element, it is solving a problem. If you don't know the problem you're solving, how can you scale your business? So all the stakes means is what happens if they don't solve that problem. The value proposition. This is commonly called the unique selling proposition or unique value proposition, USP or UVP. This is what makes you different. Usually it's one of three things. It's cost, time, or quality. If you've heard it saying in the professional service business, it's usually, hey, do you want it good, fast, or cheap? You can choose two. Think about that for a second. So what is your value prop? Are you the best? Are you the fastest? Or are you the cheapest? Or is it something completely different? Those are the common three that most people can resonate with, but highlighting your value proposition is extremely important. Next part is the guide, which is you. What qualifies you to solve the problem? This is where you want to put your accolades, your accreditations, your badges, your awards, your testimonials. What makes you the expert? You are the guide that you're asking people to trust. Next part is the plan. What is the 2, 3, 4-step plan that's going to help people get to the other side, get them to heaven, away from hell? And again, don't overthink this. This is not your operation system. You don't need your director of operations to write this for you. This needs to be very simple. If you said, hey, it's easy as 1, 2, 3, what does that look like? Cool. You fill out the survey, we jump on a consult, and you get to pick from 3 options that fit your budget and fit your needs. Oh, okay. That sounds easy. Nobody likes a mystery. Nobody wants to go like jump on a call or book something or fill out a form if they don't know what they're getting into. Does that make sense? It's like, I'm going to fill this out and then someone's going to call me, or I'm going to go watch a video, or someone's going to visit me at my house. Like what's going to happen? So you want to crush all those disbeliefs and false beliefs and just create a very simple process of what to expect. That is the plan. The next is the explanatory. It's a hard word. Maybe not for you. The explanatory paragraph. This is good for SEO or search engine optimization. This gives you just a chance just to talk a little bit about your business. Hey, at Business X, we deliver this kind of product to these kind of people in this area. If you commonly struggle with this, or this, and you've tried this, or this, then you've probably experienced this, or this. At my company, we provide the solution called X, and we find that so you get it. This is your long form explanation with a few keywords in there. And what this does too is some people are very visual, right? They're a lot more emotional than logical. And they're going to just look at the headlines, look at the images, look at the video, and make a decision. That's just fact. That might be you. Some people are more logical. They're going to read every bit of text. They're going to scrutinize the crap out of this thing before they push any button or click anything, right? That's why it's really important to have a combination of both. You want to appeal to emotion and you want to appeal to logic. People most of the time make decisions based on emotion and justify with logic, but you want to capture both. Next up, guys, this one everybody hates, but it is so important, is the video. I don't care if you've never been on video before, if you're scared to death about it. I just did a video podcast with my personal coach, and he did awesome, but he was also very much of like, hey, I really don't like video, and I'm helping him overcome that fear. But here's the deal, guys. If you can be on video, and I've sent some scripts over might be in your emails as free gifts of like some different ideas for a video script. It doesn't have to be long. You don't have to be an entertainer. You don't have to have a big, giant personality. People connect with people that are real, and people connect with people they what? Know, like, and trust. If you can't have coffee or breakfast with everyone on your list, the next best thing you can do is create a video. A video is going to show your personality. It's going to help people decide, like, hey, do I want to work with this person? It's just a great way to communicate your message and to create that logical and emotional connection. And if you're selling a product or service, if you're a franchise, there's probably franchise videos already made you could probably use. If you're an independent contractor or licensed professional, just make a quick video. It doesn't have to be high production quality. It's more about them getting to know you, hear you, see you, and it does not have to be long. A great script to kind of go off of is, just using a simple framework of we help X achieve Y through Z. So it'd be, for example, if I was doing one for Genie Rocket and it would just put me on the spot, that's the framework I would jump to. We help X achieve Y through Z. We help X achieve Y through Z. Hey, my name is Brad Parnell. We help passionate entrepreneurs achieve groundbreaking results like more leads, more conversions, more sales, more booked appointments. And we do that through our coaching, our community, our training, and our all-in-one tool called Genie Rocket. Click here to get started. Can't wait to see you, right? It's something as simple as that. And I do this for a living, so that's a little bit unfair. But if you just follow that framework, I promise you will be able to nail it. Okay, next up is the price choices. If you have a product that is for sale, if you're selling something that is not a high ticket item or a service, be very clear on your pricing, because this will help you avoid tire kickers. If you're trying to get all these consultations booked and people aren't showing up and you're having to chase them, and really it just comes down to like, man, if they knew my price, they probably wouldn't be calling me. That's a great way to qualify people. If they see your price and they call you, you're pretty much an order taker at that point. And finally is called the junk drawer. How many of you guys have a junk drawer at home? I've got way too many. I think my Jeep has turned into a giant junk drawer. So the junk drawer is where you put everything else that does not fit into one of these core areas. So think about it. Like, what if you say, like, hey, what about my blog and my podcast and my about us section and my history section and my services page? Like, you can put all that at the very bottom. But if you strategically guide people through a funnel or through this magnetic landing page, you're going to get a lot higher conversion rate. Why is that? Because you're only letting people go through the page as you've designed them to read through the page. It's not a choose your own adventure. Think about when you go to a website and you see 18 items across the top. Like, that is so confusing, and it gives you too many options. But businesses get a lot higher conversions when it's a page like this. Like these just two quick examples here on the screen. You can see there's no navigation at the top. It's real simple. And guess what? People scroll. People are trained to scroll from social media, so they just scroll through here and read. So you are actually guiding people through an educated experience about your brand, and you're letting them see the right things at the right time that you have ordered specifically for a purpose. And that's why this right here, that's why I'm putting so much emphasis on do it in this order. This is the scientific way that you can do. And people use this for their website. I've seen so many main websites follow this pattern, and they work great. And even to this day, I get far less conversions on genierocket.com than I do on when I'm doing promos and specials and campaigns where there's only one thing you can do and it follows a pattern like this. Think about that for a second. All the time and money and energy and effort we put on like getting people to our homepage, getting people to our website, it's mostly a loss. Whereas most conversions happen on these landing pages, or you might have heard them called funnel pages, because it's very clear, it's very concise, it's very compelling, and you're guiding someone every step of the way to go from an interested lead into a next step that they commit to. That is magnetic landing page. Okay. Number 3, everyone's favorite, not really, thing is the story video. That's what goes on the website. And this is where a lot of people ask the questions like, well, what actually needs to go on the video? Like, I know I told you a little framework there, but What needs to happen, and how do I make sure that I say the right things? And you can see some examples here, just little screenshots of video. Guys, these are like the founders, owners of the company. They're not, hired talents. They're not the marketing directors or the salespeople necessarily of their company. They're just real, authentic people like you and me, and they're just going through why they have conviction about selling their products, of doing what they do. This goes on the website. So person, problem, product, proof. So person, who am I talking to? Problem, like we talked about earlier, this pulls from that hero's journey. Always use that as your blueprint. The hero's journey is your blueprint for everything. And if you have multiple products or services, like you mentioned, Mary, guess what? Each of those needs its own landing page. Each of them needs its own video. Is that a lot of work? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes. If it was easy, guys, everyone would be doing it. And there's no real shortcut to this. It's putting in the hard work to get the results that you want and that you deserve. So story video on your website. Who's the person I'm talking to? What's the problem we're solving? What's the product I'm talking about? And what's the proof that it works? That's it. I know I shared with you that other framework. Again, that's if you didn't have a system like this, you just say, I help X achieve Y through Z. This one goes a step deeper. So again, if I was to do this just on the spot, person, problem, promise, proof. Hey, if you are an entrepreneur and you're struggling on getting new leads into your business and converting those leads into consistent appointments and sales, it's probably not because your product or service stinks. It might be because you don't have the right system and structure for that to actually work correctly. So at Genie Rocket, we actually have a system that you can automate every piece of that. And we can help you shoot those videos, build those systems, get it all knocked out. And we've helped countless entrepreneurs just like you achieve massive results with increasing their leads, increasing their sales, and changing their business, right? That's person, problem, product, proof. Who's the person you're talking to specifically? What's the problem you're solving specifically? What's the product that you're talking about specifically? And what's the proof that you've done this before successfully specifically? That's it. That's it. If you nail those things, that's all you need. That paints a beautiful story. And here's one more thing. And I'm sorry I get so passionate about this, but I want you guys so badly to win. And so I'll just say, if you can get real specific on all of these, you will get really great results. And don't be afraid to show your passion and conviction in solving that problem and just getting on video and doing it. And it works great. And if you need to shoot it a couple times, that's fine. They're not always going to be perfect from day one. Okay, number 4. This is where people usually freeze up. They fall over, they leave, and they say, forget this. I'm not doing ads. I've tried ads before. They suck. I've tried Facebook. I've tried Google. I've tried LinkedIn. I've tried YouTube. I've tried Yext and Yelp and everything, and ads don't work. I've been there too, guys. I've spent tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past decade. Well, definitely hundreds of thousands over the past decade on ads. And I have seen ads completely bomb and fail. I've had full-time ads people working for me that I've had to fire and almost like walk away from just doing ads altogether. So I have seen the pain of ads, but I've also seen the flip side where I've seen one ad, for example, this was us a few years ago, one ad generate one sale that ended up being incredible. It was a five-figure deal that involved flying me to Colorado to do consulting for 2 days in a beautiful part of Colorado. That came from one ad. That if I never did that ad, I would have never had that experience and that opportunity. The revenue was great and nice, don't get me wrong, but it was the realizing that, hey, when you have the right ads, you're going to kiss a lot of frogs no matter what, right? It is a volume game, but it's worth it when you get the right ones in and it starts creating impact and it starts creating growth. And you realize, hey, those people would not be in my ecosystem if it wasn't for that ad, right? I have a partnership I'm doing right now with someone that I'm helping grow that came from a Facebook ad. They came in here to meet with me in the office. We did a whiteboarding session, and now we're doing some really cool business stuff together. That came from an ad, right? Amazing things can happen because don't hear what I'm not saying. They can also suck. If you have the mindset that you are going to be kissing several frogs to get to the good stuff. Ads are going to be great. If your expectation is every single person that fills out an ad is going to generate revenue for me, and the expectation is like, I am not going to follow up with these people, they better be ready with credit card information, then you are going to be wildly disappointed, because it does take work. It takes follow up. This is not a referral from a networking event, right? That's a whole different ball game. If someone says, "Hey, this is Mary. You are going to love her. She's going to take great care of you, Mary. This is my trusted friend, Jake. Um, Jake, meet Mary. She's going to take good care of you. Mary's awesome." That's easy, right? Like, that is a warm referral, and 90% of the time that's going to close into something and be a healthy relationship. What you're doing here is, when people come into your ecosystem, they're going to be a little bit cold. Like, they're going to see an offer or see a message, and you're going to be able to have a conversation with them. But it's going to take a little bit of work, and you've got to be okay with that. But the ones that do the work are the ones that get the results. And that's why you're here. I'm going to jump into chat real fast here. We're on number 4 of 6, so we're doing great. Brian, oh, sorry, I didn't pick up on the sarcasm. Sorry. So you say, people tell me through the call and they need to add it into Hero Journey. Oh, yeah. So that's actually, I'm glad that you said that, Brian. So Brian's saying, when people call him, they tell him the problem. So when you have customers or clients calling you and they are telling you what the problem is, start to document those, because that should be part of your hero's journey. And you can make a library of, here's all the problems that people are telling you. Instead of you just guessing what the problem is, now you have people telling you. If you can't advertise on media, like Mary's saying here, that's a bummer. I would say, there are things like cold. You can do cold outreach and cold email marketing. If you're collecting emails from networking events, we've got a tool that I'm happy to share with you later, where you can actually pull name, phone number, email, based on, where like different businesses people work at or different areas. So doing cold email outreach is a really good idea. And even just organic, right? If you're using this to post on your social media, you get people to follow you. So it's like, hey, follow me on Instagram. Pick out the one platform that you have the most value in. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on X. And I post some great tips. I would come up with like daily tips from Mary, and maybe you have like a makeup tip or a beauty tip or something, and that's your hook. And so if you can get people on that platform, then every once in a while you can pop in. This is actually a really popular book by Gary Vaynerchuk, who wrote Jab, 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 Right Hook. You can get people to, follow you on social. Then the jab, jab, jab is the free. It's like, here's a free tip. Here's a free tip. Here's a free tip. Then you can say, hey, I've actually got a really cool special going on. Click here to learn about it. You can see what we're doing, and you can share with them the opportunity to go to a landing page or a video or something instead of using paid media. Yep, and ask others to share you. Absolutely. Yeah, other people's audience is a huge, huge tactic. Could do a whole session on that. Yeah, those are great questions though, guys. Brian, I'm glad I got that right, man. I'm sorry I didn't pick up on your sarcasm on that first one. Yeah, if people are telling you the problems they're facing, that is a great sign. Document those problems. Document those. Okay, so lead form ads. What in the world is a lead form ad? So if you have never seen this on social media, most of you probably have, you can run ads where you collect information on the ad without them having to go to that landing page. The landing page does play a place after they fill out the form, because you can nurture them and send them back to your landing page. Because this is where the people that we're working with on Genie Rocket that are doing this, they get leads in daily. We're doing this. We get like 2 to 3 to 4 leads in every single day. Does that mean that they're showing up with credit cards and chasing me down? No. Then it means that they come into our world. They're now off of social media. I've got all their information, and they're getting nurtured with great emails, with great content. And if they say, I love the stuff you're sharing, I have this problem, I see that you can solve it, let's chat. That's the goal of that. My expectation isn't, hey, people are going to fill this out and then buy now. My expectation is, I am investing into growing my list, and I'm going to add so much value to people that come in here. If they are the right people, they will eventually buy from me. Does that make sense? That should be your goal too. If your expectation is everyone that joins and fills this out is going to be a buy now person, you're going to be wildly disappointed. If your goal is I'm going to build this list and I'm going to make this investment to build my list because I know over time people are going to show up and buy, then that is the right mindset. I've had people, one of our bigger clients we had a couple years ago, they were on my list for over, I want to say it was like a year and a half or 2 years. I didn't even know this person. I forgot where, I don't even know where they came in from, but they were getting my emails consistently. And one email I sent out, one email that mentioned something about, hey, I want to get you in front of like 10,000 people or get you in front of my list. I was doing a promotion to get people on my podcast for free so they could share their story. He replied to it and basically it was like, hey, I'm ready to talk. This sounds interesting. And through that conversation, it led to several meetings, which led to a really big project that I would have never gotten if I thought a year ago that everyone on my list should buy now or I'm just going to give up. But I've generated multiple 6 figures of incomes for the business from people on my list that were over a longer period of time. So they weren't just showing up and buying, they were showing up and getting value from me. Does that make sense? Okay, so I wanted to set that pre-frame first because this is how you get people on your list inexpensively. So lead form ads, you can run these on Instagram, you can run these on Facebook. If you do them right, you can generate leads within 48 hours. You can target specific locations. You get to collect name, email, and phone number, all from Facebook or Instagram. It's a pretty low cost per lead. We've had them as low as like 40 cents, 50 cents, and as high as $10 to $15. Just depends on your product, your service, your offer, your ad spend, all that stuff, but usually pretty low cost per lead. The important thing here is you use a very clear offer. Don't be generic here and use a clear target audience. That goes back to everything else I've taught up to this point, right? So if Mary is selling skincare, and maybe this specific skincare product is for millennial moms, and it's in Southlake, right? She might run an ad, and I know she can't run ads, but let's just say she could for the sake of this. Just hang with me here. She could say, hey, I want to run a Facebook ad in Southlake. The message is going to be all about, hey, if you're a millennial mom and you struggle with having this kind of skin, like dry skin or itchy skin, or you're embarrassed about going out because it looks this way, we have a really unique product that helps your skin glow. And it hydrates your skin, makes you look younger, feel better. As a bonus, you're going to also smell amazing. And we're actually giving away a bottle for free when you buy a full price bottle. So we're only doing this for a limited time. If you want your free bottle, fill out this information. We'll send you next steps, right? That's a very clear audience with a very clear offer. What we're not saying is, hey, if you've got dry skin and you want it to feel better and you're a human that has skin, fill out this form and we're going to tell you about our lotion, right? Or our skin cream. Like no one is going to fill that out. So part of my job too is to help you think like a marketer. So you have to be very specific. Who is that person? What is the offer? What is the problem you're solving? The more you can get focused on that, the lower you're going to pay per lead and the higher quality of lead that's going to be coming in. And that is a lead form ad. If you're wondering where does traffic come from, this is a key part of a traffic strategy. It's not the only one. So if you cannot run ads, then use it organically, right? Like this should be stuff you're posting on social. If you're confused on which social media outlet to focus on, let me ask you this. Where does your target audience hang out? Is your target audience on YouTube all day, on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok, on X? Where are they spending their time? And that's the answer of where you should be spending your time. It doesn't matter if you like Facebook because your friends are on Facebook. Great, use that for personal. It doesn't matter if your friends are on Instagram and you just personally like the way Instagram looks and feels in the content. That doesn't matter. What matters is Who is that dream customer and where do they spend their time? Because that's where you need to be engaging. And back to the jab, 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 right hook, add value before you go straight to an offer. When you're doing ads, you can go more for the offer. When you're doing organic, you want to go for the value. Here's a tip. Here's 5 things you can do to start organizing your garage so your wife yells at you less. Download it now. Here's 3 things you can do to have better posture and wake up with a straighter back and feel better every morning. Here's some daily routines you can start adding now. That's called a lead magnet. How do you give away something for free or value in exchange for that email address? And you continue to add value to others. All right, number 5 is a CRM. So if you already have Genie Rocket, that's awesome. If you're using something like Pipedrive or HubSpot or Salesforce, or there's a kabajillion CRMs out there, and this is where it's so important when you're playing this game of collecting information, collecting data, and nurturing these leads and being consistent. You've got to do that through a CRM. You cannot do it through a spreadsheet. You cannot do it through Post-it notes. You cannot do it through your Outlook or Gmail account. That's going to create so much headache for you. Get a CRM. Every business needs a great CRM. This is where you can organize all of your contacts. You can visualize the sales process. What stage are they in? You can unify all communication, everything in one place. It means like, hey, did I text this person? Did I email them? Did they respond to something? You shouldn't have to go hunt that down. You can manage appointments, you can take payments, and so much more. But having a great CRM is paramount, right? I'm trying to think of an analogy of this on the fly. I should have thought one earlier. What is having a great CRM like in everyday life? I mean, it's almost like the agenda I showed you guys. It's almost like going to a big conference. Imagine if you went to go see, let's say, a conference with speakers like Tony Robbins and some other really big thought leaders, and there was no agenda. There was no schedule. There was no agenda. There was no food planned. People just showed up. That would be chaos, right? Like you'd get to see the speakers, but your experience would absolutely suck. And so having an agenda is going to make it where everything is planned. You know what to expect. You feel at peace and calm because you know what's coming up next. And it's a much more enjoyable experience. Like having a cell phone when driving for maps. Oh, thank you, Mary. Mary to the rescue. Yes. Guys, it's like having a cell phone when driving for maps and help. I remember I was going to a field trip to the Dallas Zoo. I've been to the Fort Worth Zoo a lot, but not the Dallas Zoo. I was going to a field trip for the Dallas Zoo for my daughter. And at the time, I had an Apple Watch and an iPhone. And for some reason, they didn't get charged. Guys, all my electronics died. And I was trying to navigate to the Dallas Zoo. And I was so lost. I could not. Luckily, I found someone else from the school driving. I recognized their car and I followed them in. But I would have never made it to where I was trying to go without that, having my phone and my watch. So that's exactly right. Having a good CRM is just having a plan. Why would you want to have a plan? So that is really important, is having a great CRM. Obviously, if you are on Genie Rocket, guys, you have that at your fingertips. And I want to encourage you to use it even more. I use it every day, all day, and I can't imagine life without it, to be honest, from all the stuff we do in it, how we market, promote, sell. I mean, we take payments from it. We send invoices from it. We schedule appointments from it. All of our reporting, when we get Facebook leads, we see all that data come in of all the reporting. Our leads get messaged. Our leads book appointment. Everything happens on that platform. Everything. And without it, we'd be stuck to a notebook with chicken scratch. That's not a good thing for any of us, right? Okay. Number 6, the fortune is in the follow-up. How many times have we heard that phrase? Fortune's in the follow-up. How many touch points does it take people to make a decision? A lot. I've heard everything from 7 to 21 to 50. I mean, it is a lot. So if you don't have a nurturing follow-up sequence, you're leaving so much cash, bags of cash on the table. by not having a good nurturing follow-up sequence. So here's a really simple one. So if someone comes into your world, if Mary meets someone at a networking group, if Brian gets a lead that's filled out, if anyone gets like someone that is coming into their world, you need to have a good follow-up sequence that they go through. So for example, if someone's downloading a lead magnet, the first email they get is a simple thank you with next steps. Hey, thank you so much for downloading this. Here's the thing. We're not selling them anything. It's just, here's the thing. Here's how to download it. Enjoy it. Wait a day or wait 2 days. The next email they get is highlighting the problem and the solution. Hey, we understand, person, and showing empathy, people like you typically experience common problem that they solve. And luckily, Brian's been taking notes of all these problems, so he's got a ton, right? So this kind of problem. And we found the best way to get over that problem is a solution like this. You introduce your solution and then have a real simple call to action. If you'd like to learn more, grab time with me here or download this thing, be helpful, right? Third email, share success stories. It's not about you. Guys, I can tell you how awesome Genie Rocket is all day, and it's not really going to matter because you can be like, well, Brad, you're the founder of Genie Rocket. Of course you're going to say it's amazing. That's why on my website, I have tons of video testimonials, and I always record video testimonials because it's not about me. It's about what other people are saying and how they experience it, right? It's about what your customers and your clients are saying. So when you highlight them, it makes it a lot more credible. So highlight the problem and solution. That third email is share success stories. And then I would say overall, this is kind of the theme. When you write these kind of emails, and there's a whole series of emails you can write. I'm happy to share those with you. If you want them, you can just email hello@genierocket.com and say, send me the entire list of follow-up email structure, and I'll give that to you for free. hello@genierocket.com. Just say, send me the follow-up nurture sequence, because I forgot to put it in here if you want it. But guys, make it entertaining, informational, or meaningful. You can find information anywhere, right? So don't think that you're the only one that can provide logical information. Make it fun, make it entertaining, make it unique. That's what people want. Okay, so the 6 things right here. So number 1, clarify your message, and you've got the process for doing that. Number 2, have a magnetic landing page that has all those steps we outlined in the magnetic landing page. Number 3 is a story-focused video. We talked about the framework for a great video that's going to be on your page. Number 4 are lead form ads. When people are going on Facebook, Instagram, having them fill those out. Number 5 is a CRM. You need a CRM. Just go get one. I'd love you to use Genie Rocket. If you have another one, just get one. You need one. And then a follow-up sequence. And you can do that inside of a CRM. When people come into your world, what are the follow-up emails that they are going to get? All right. Okay. So I'm running a little short on time, so I'm going to go through these slides fast. Common pitfalls. What are the common pitfalls that most people have when they're trying to implement this stuff? So number 1 is they have what's called a fixed mindset. You might have heard of this. It's a popular expression of a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is you might hear words like this, like I just give up. I can't because I'm scared of video, or maybe like being a perfectionist. You've got to get out of that fixed mindset and embrace a growth mindset. So you need to have some resilience coming in here. Don't give up when things don't go well. Expect for there to be problems, expect for there to be roadblocks, expect for there to be setbacks, because they will happen. And the ones that persevere through those are the ones that get results. Number 2 is a poor strategy. Your message was too generic. It was not clear. Your audience wasn't clear. Your offer wasn't clear. Your video or story wasn't engaging. It wasn't priced correctly. A lot of people fail not because maybe they didn't do the work, but because the work didn't have the right planning behind it and it's not resonating with the audience. Okay. And then number 3 is not sales driven. Guys, you don't have to be a sleazy, slimy salesperson for this to work, but you need to have some basic sales professionalism. So make sure you do have a good follow-up system. Emails are great. Guess what? Phone calls are great too. You don't have to call people and be weird and salesy. Just say, hey, I noticed you were interested in this. Tell me about you. Tell me about your business. What are you trying to accomplish? Or tell me about, like, if it's the junk removal for JDog, it could be, hey, tell me what's causing you pain. What's the junk that you're looking to get removed? Just have a conversation. Follow up with you. People love to talk. And like Brian's message in here, they will gladly tell you about the problem. And make sure to ask for the sale. Did you know most sales don't happen because sales are never asked for? It's funny. I won't give any names, and I'll try not to make this super obvious. But we were doing one of our free marketing workshops in here, and I was telling somebody how they could sell me on a service that I already got from them and I could use more of from them. And I made it very clear of, like, I would probably say yes. And here's how I would frame it to me, so we could do it again. And I even had a conversation with them after the event, and they never asked me for the sale, and I would have given it to them, but they never said, hey, can we actually get that on the books? Let's do that for you. You said you wanted it, like, let's go ahead and do it. And I teed it up perfectly for them. But guess what? They didn't ask me for the sale, and I let it go. So ask for the sale, guys. If you're having a conversation and you can solve a problem, ask for the sale. And then another common pitfall is not adjusting the offer. If something's not working, that doesn't mean that your product or service is bad, that marketing doesn't work, that ads don't work, that emails don't work, that CRM is broken, that everybody hates you, life sucks. That just means you have to be smart and you have to figure out what you need to optimize and adjust. I need to change my message. I might need to change the price a little bit. Maybe this doesn't make sense. I mean, guys, I made it. This is zero bragging at all. I'm just using this as an example. I made a sale today over the phone, and I was this is kind of funny. I was doing the offer for free, and instead of me just doing the free offer, I made it where I priced it 3 times as expensive, but I gave 10 times more value. And I made the sale faster when it was 3 times more expensive because the value was so much higher. What does that show you? Like, it doesn't matter if it's free. If people don't want, if it's not solving a problem, it's going to cost their time, right? So people are willing to pay. They will pay more for the bigger problem that you're solving. If you're solving a really big problem, then you can charge for it and people will pay for it. If people are vague on the problem you're solving, even if it's free, you're not going to get any takers, and it's going to suck for both people. Okay, those are the common pitfalls. Fixed mindset, poor strategy, not sales driven. Okay, shortcut to results, and then we are almost done. Plan a war room day to knock out as much as possible. What's a war room day? It is a day that is only focused on solving one problem. Turn off your email, turn off your phone, get into a room with a whiteboard, make some coffee, bring in team members that are going to help you move this thing forward, and knock out as much as possible. Guys, we do this for businesses in one day. I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. We've done it in businesses for half a day, like where we actually do the strategy, shoot the video, build the site, write the follow-ups, do everything, and it's done in a day or in half of a day. And how do we get that done? Because all distractions are off. When you apply intense focus in a short amount of time, solving one problem, you can accomplish more than you think you can. So plan a war room day, or else this is going to drag on forever. We've all been there, right? Map out the strategy on a whiteboard, right? Like, not all of you are whiteboard people, but guys, I promise you, when you move off of the computer screen, and I plan my day and my tasks like on this giant notebook, even though I'm all in on tech, get off screen, write it on a whiteboard, map it out. That's going to help you be creative, think through everything before you knock it out. That's been our strategy, and it works brilliantly. So map out your strategy on a whiteboard. And then another shortcut is, remember this. I know you've heard it a million times, but progress over perfection. Don't wait to launch it until it's perfect. Ship it when it's 80% right and fix things along the way. That doesn't mean like overlook quality. If there's misspellings or big glaring issues, fix those. But sometimes you'll never know until it gets launched. If you're like, I don't know about this color or this size, or if I'm saying the exact right thing, You would be shocked how many times we launch things thinking that it was perfect and it got 0 results. And then we launch things really quickly that we really believe in that are half baked, but get wild results. And then that's the stuff that we focus on and make better over time. So remember, progress over perfection. If you guys don't have a CRM, like I said, Genie Rocket is awesome. We are built on a bigger operating system that is powered by like over 50 full-time developers. We're gobbling up all the people from Salesforce. Over 1 million businesses are using this operating system. It gets updates almost daily. And guys, it's amazing. And again, I can say that because I didn't build it. We've built on top of it. And we pay for it and we use it every single day. And it is amazing. You can build those landing pages on it. You can automate emails. You can take payments. I mean, it's a full-blown, amazing tool, and it is awesome. And it helps generate great results. I mean, this is a Zoom call I was on the other day, and this guy that was a Genie Rocket user said, hey, Genie Rocket has increased our business easily by 100% revenue-wise. I didn't ask him for a testimonial. I didn't say, hey, tell us how this has impacted you. He just felt the need to share it because he was so excited about it. So this is a really great tool that can really help change the business. This is by no means like a hard sales pitch or sales call. The goal on this is really to show you those 6 steps, but I would be amiss if I didn't share with you how other people were getting results. And there's businesses that use it every single day. And it is a great tool. So here's the deal. There is a small onboarding fee that we are doing that you do have to pay. But if you want to give this a try for free, you can go to genierocket.com/free, and you can actually get a plan and try it out for free. There's no tech skills required. It works for any product or service. There's live weekly coaching, 24/7 help, easy to learn, one-to-one onboarding, and we're going to help you get set up on this. So if you need a CRM and you want some help on this is what I would recommend. If you like the things that I'm saying and you're like, I could see myself working alongside Brad or with Brad to help me hit my goals, this is where you need to be. So genierocket.com/free. The other option here is you can have my team do it for you all in one day. You might be watching this and saying, hey, I know for sure I need all those 6 things. And I know I could probably do a war room on my own, but there's still a missing gap. And I don't know if I'm the right kind of person or have what it takes to do that. And that's okay if you think that way. Because there's gaps that we all have, or we know where our strengths and weaknesses are. And weaknesses aren't bad. It's just being self-aware. But we do have a program where you can spend the day with me inside of this studio, and we do that war room day with you and get all that done in one day. How cool would that be? We call that the Rocket Fuel Retreat. These are some businesses we've helped. We've helped this business get 372 leads in 90 days. There's the video we shot, the landing page we built. 221 leads in 60 days, video we shot, landing page we built, 19 leads in a month. These are a little bit higher ticket leads. And these are all different industries. So all these numbers are going to be a little bit different based on their budget, on the ads and all that stuff. But landing page we built, video we shot, same thing. Video. You can see, guys, these all follow the exact same pattern we're showing in here. And so I'm showing you how to do it. And then I'm showing you what needs to get done. And if you need help, this is where you get help. 200 leads in 6 months, 215 leads in 1 month. So, we could go on and on. Here's the deal, guys. If you're interested in this, this is not a sales webinar. Really, this is just to show me, but I really did feel amiss if I didn't give you some shortcuts that involved my help. If you want my help, that's an option. It's not for everybody, but I would say at least try the tool, genierocket.com/free. And if you say, Brad, I just really want to make sure all my stuff is set up correctly, and I want you personally to help me do it all, just email that hello@genierocket.com. And in the subject line, just put RFR for Rocket Fuel Retreat. And I'm just going to send you our basic proposal. I'm not going to force you into like a big discovery call or sales call. I'm just going to say like, here's exactly what we do. Here's how much it costs. If it's right for you and you want to have a conversation, great. If not, you just wanted to take a look at it, that's fine. But just email subject line RFR to hello@genierocket.com if you're interested. And I will show you what that looks like. I'm going to open it up for Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can throw them in the chat. I know we answered a lot in here as I was going through. I'm going to tell you some common ones we get to, and then we'll wrap up. Guys, you have been uh, so great in chat today, and thank you all for being here. I just want to say that before we jump into question and answer. Mary says, I'm assuming we can do that at any part. Yep, if you already have Genie Rocket, guys, we've had people that have had Genie Rocket for 6 months, and then they come in for a retreat. So people use it as a complete standalone of just like, hey, this is my CRM. This is where I'm putting in my contacts. I'm following up with leads. This is awesome. And then they say, you know what? I need to turn up the heat on this and either do my own war room session and build out a system like this, or I want to have Brad and his team do this. Question we get is, hey, what if I don't live in Dallas, Fort Worth? Guys, we've had a couple from Hawaii fly in here to do this. We've had people from California. We've had people from Tennessee, all over the country. Here's the cool thing. If you can see, like this is our studio over here. I'll turn it to disconnect any wires. Hey, and Merry Christmas, by the way. We have a Hampton Inn right behind us. So we have people that fly in. We're like, 20, 25 minutes max from the airport. They fly into DFW. They stay in our Hampton Inn right here. And then they walk across the street. They spend a full day with us. And they walk out of these doors after one day with their video shot and edited, their landing page, magnetic page launched, their strategy done, their ads, or whatever they have going to get traffic set up, everything knocked out and live when they walk out of those doors. Mary says, I'm also assuming we can do a landing page. Yep. So the difference between a landing page and a website, it really is more psychology than technology. So the tool, we build landing pages and websites in Genie Rocket. And so a lot of people do start with just a landing page that could be a really simple single page sales letter. And then they can add more pages to that over time. Or they could say, I want to build now like a bigger website that then links to those landing pages. That's what's called a funnel hub. So if it's like, hey, do you want to see, like it's a website, then like check out our offer here, click the offer, get to the landing page. And if you guys want to even go, like if you want to explore a little bit more too, you can just go to Rocket Fuel. Don't go to rocketfuel.com. That is wrong. Boop. I don't know what that is, but don't click on it. rocketfuelretreat.com. You can get a really good idea for what we do in that full day war room with you. And we've got countless testimonials. We've had several people cry in the middle of it, and we're unprepared for it. We don't know how to handle it. So we had to teach ourselves to how to handle people crying in there. Not because they're mad or sad, but because they will say, guys, I've been waiting to do this for months or years, and I can't believe we got all this done in one day. Or we've had people say, I know I've needed to get this done, and I've been thinking about it. It would have taken me years to do, and now it's done. Like we got it done in one day. And there's something really, really powerful about speed, going from ideas to action, right? And man, if you can get the right person or coach, and that's the role that I play in these war room sessions, to help pull the right ideas out of your head, turn that into strategy, that gets turned into video, that gets turned into a landing page, that turns into ad, that gets turned into a nurturing follow-up sequence, that turns into a system that works 24/7, and you're done with that in a day. I mean, holy cow, that's a game changer. I mean, we've built stuff even for ourselves that continues to run 24/7. Like people come in, they fill out ads, they fill out a form, they do a thing, and boom, they get enrolled in this nurturing sequence that we set up that still generates leads and sales that we haven't had to touch in a long time. One of our clients we're doing some work with, his name is Jeff Chisholm. He does like short-term rental properties, helps people get into that business. He came in and he told us, he's like, hey guys, I've been on the system now for 2 years and I haven't changed a thing since you guys have set it up. And he still gets leads in that book appointments with him every single day. So imagine that. Imagine if you had a system that just continued to generate you leads, and it was optimized to a point where those leads turned into appointments and just showed up on your calendar. And that was happening every single day. How would that change your business? How would that change your life? It's pretty huge. And like I said, this isn't a big pitch for like why you need to do a Rocket Fuel retreat. Do I think everyone needs a Rocket Fuel retreat? Absolutely. Do I think everyone needs Genie Rocket as a CRM? 100%. But I also know that not everyone can do that right now. And that's why I'm giving you these are the steps that we take people through on a retreat. So if you're just like, man, I just need to buckle down and do this on my own right now, and then maybe one day I can do this other thing with Brad and with the retreat, like that's great. That is awesome. And I celebrate you because I want you to win regardless. But all these things that I'm breaking down for you are what we've been doing over the last few years and have seen phenomenal success on. One of the things we like to say too is like people are always like, well, how much does a retreat cost? Is it, tens of thousands of dollars or like $15,000 or like what is the investment here? It's a good size investment. It's probably lower than you think. And again, I'm happy to give you the proposal if you just want to email subject line RFR for Rocket Fuel Retreat to hello@genierocket.com. But what it comes down to is what is the cost of not doing this? It is way less than an employee. It's probably way less than a part-time employee, but it can replace both and get you better results than both, because now you've got a 24/7 machine that's out there getting you leads, nurturing those leads, helping convert those to appointments and sales, and giving you a system you can use to get peace of mind and having it all together. Like, that's the question you need to be asking. I remember when I hired my first marketing director, and it was several years ago, and it was a pretty big salary, the biggest salary that I've ever given at the time. And the question I had to ultimately ask myself was, what is the cost of not hiring this person? Can I afford? It wasn't, can I afford to hire them? It was, can I afford to not hire them? What's at stake, right? It's the same thing we talk about on the magnetic landing page as you go through the stakes. Like, what is at stake if I don't bring this person on? So I would ask you the same question. What's at stake if you don't do these 6 steps for your business? What's at stake if you don't have a magnetic landing page, you don't have a system to generate leads, you don't have a system to nurture leads on autopilot, you don't have a good video? And again, I'm not saying doing it through me. I'm just saying like you doing it for yourself. What's at stake if you don't do any of this? Because I will tell you one thing I've learned in my 12 plus years of entrepreneurship, which I'm still very much a rookie in, and I'm learning new stuff every single day, and it's an amazing journey, is that time does not fix problems. Time does not fix problems. A plan fixes problems, right? If you wrote down like the biggest problems your business is facing right now on a notebook and you just let it sit, do you think those problems get any better? No. What happens? Those problems get worse and magnified. But what makes a problem go away is a plan. So if you commit to yourself, and you do, let's go back here to that war room day. You do this, you commit to yourself a war room day to knock out as much as possible. That is going to do you way better, even if you go in without the knowledge. Be like, I don't really know what I'm doing. This is the stuff Brad told me to do. I've got this list of things. Like, let's just try it. You are gonna get way further ahead than you just having a notebook full of problems and you're not doing anything about them. So commit to yourself that you will plan that war room day and that you will knock out that list of things. And you're all getting, because you guys are watching this, you are going to get the recording sent to you. If you happen to miss it, again, hello@genierocket.com if you need replay of this, but you should all get the replay sent to your inbox. Rewatch this, take notes, do the work, email me and let me know where you're having problems. I'm happy to help you, because I know only 2 to 3% of you are actually going to do this, which is a sad statistic. But if you are that 2 to 3% that actually take action and do the work and get the results, I want to help you and I want to celebrate you. So email me and let me know where you're stuck and where you need help. Again, just a quick recap. Today we went over the 6 steps to 10x your business. I hope you got tremendous value on this. If you want help just on the tool, you just say, hey, I'm not ready for a retreat, but I do need a tool so I can figure this out on my own and get some kind of just live chat support help. You can go to genierocket.com/free. If you're like, man, I just want you guys to do it all for me and just give me quick, swift help, just email hello@genierocket.com with a subject line of RFR. That stands for Rocket Fuel Retreat. And if you want to know more about the Rocket Fuel Retreat and watch a kabajillion videos of people telling how it changed their lives, you can go to rocketfuelretreat.com. Oh man, even in chat, I misspelled it. Progress over perfection, right, guys? Rocketfuelretreat.com. There we go. Okay. But guys, I hope you all got tremendous value out of this. Thank you so much for joining. If you're watching the replay of this, I'm going to put some show notes and stuff inside the page of this replay. And hopefully I will hear you. I can't wait to hear your success stories and how this helped you. Hope you have a great rest of the week. Thanks, everybody.